couple of places. All right. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from. Welcome to Swahili Sunday. I am happy that you are here. And if you're listening after the fact, thank you so much for listening. I have all the platforms here and then Instagram down here. I'm trying to I need to get one of those little things to put that even with the camera. So I'm not looking down, but the camera's here and the camera's here. So anyway, I'm so grateful that you're here today. I wanted to share a little bit about scams and scammers today. But before we get into that, I want to share with you some upcoming events and details that if you're local, I'd love for you to stop by on April 16th. We are having our grand opening of the space, our wholesale showroom, wholesale and retail showroom, our studio, and our warehouse, which is all combined into one. And we're excited to share it with everybody to see the next level that Baskets and Beads is going to. We will have time to hang out. You'll be able to see everything, all the operation. You'll be able to shop as well and connect with other people who are supporting the Baskets and Beads community. I'm so grateful that we are moving into the next, realm of Baskets and Beads, which we were talking about it, Vanessa and I, on B&B Live on Thursday. And it's just amazing how far the Baskets and Beads business has grown, and I'm excited to see what's coming for the future. I believe very soon that at the farm, the things are going to start harvesting. I hopefully will be able to get Layla on maybe next week and give an update on the farm and an update on the ladies and everything that's going on in Kenya. I am still I'm actually just getting started raising funds for this. So if you would like to donate, I would really appreciate your donation. So you can go here to givesendgo.com/Baskets and Beads Kenya. For those of you watching on Instagram, if you go to the Linktree link, it will be there. I'm going to type the link here in the comments as well. I don't know. I don't think it shows up on everything, but definitely shows up on Facebook and maybe LinkedIn. I'm not sure, but I'm going to put it on here. So you could just go right to the link, givesendgo.com. Let's see. It looks like it's gone on. Oh, it's going on Facebook. Maybe the page. I think it's going on the page. And then also on YouTube. Oh, and on the group. I think it's the page, the group. Oh, no, it's on. Okay. It's on the page, the group, and my profile, it looks like. I'm just looking at the comments over here. If you want to share that, that would be great. If you have a birthday coming up, you see people doing birthday fundraisers on Facebook and Instagram for people. If you have a birthday coming up, I would ask you to think about choosing Baskets and Beads as your fundraiser for your birthday that you're raising, and it gives you you can change why you're raising money to support whatever cause. Baskets and Beads Kenya, it's a Dynamic Vision Foundation, is actually the 501c3. So we are a nonprofit. All the funds will go for what we're raising funds for to do for the trip. So if you have a birthday, not just upcoming on the trip, but also throughout, whenever your birthday comes up, consider doing a fundraiser for Baskets and Beads. Every dollar helps. And $5 will help feed a family for a day. So, or help maybe get some seeds for the farm, or help get some school supplies for a kid. So until we get the ladies to sustainability with the business, we are doing what we can to support, to give a foundation. So the three most important things, food, medical care, and schooling, education for their kids, is readily available for them. We don't want to keep giving a handout, and we are working hard to give a hand up. And that's kind of the mission that we're set on, which I think we're going to achieve it faster with the farm than we are with the products. But I'm working behind the scenes to do some things to move the products forward. And I'm only one person, so it's very hard since I lost my virtual assistant. She just disappeared one day. And if you know anybody, I do have somebody who connected me with someone who looks for virtual assistants, but they charge a pretty hefty fee to do that. And then you have to pay the virtual assistant on top of it. So I'd really love to have an intern from, I need to reach back out to Vanguard University, because I talked to their director and they were very interested in the director that does the Live to Free for prevention of human trafficking. I need to reach back out to them. I'd love to have an intern to help with things like putting out the newsletter, social media posts, just kind of coordinating in the background. So any referrals would be great. All right, let us jump into, oh, I clicked the wrong thing, I think. Let us jump into, all right. I'm going to go back to the banners and just take this off for now. We'll bring it back up. All right, scams. Let's jump into scams and hacks and things like that. So let me tell you, I've had friends, and actually even my kid's grandpa got scammed out of a lot of money. I had the first time I actually really realized about the whole romance scam side of things was in 2000. I want to say 2009. That was a long time ago. And it's before scamming was really prevalent and social media was really at the level that it is today. And but the scams have been going on forever. There's been people, if they can scam instead of working to get money, they will do it. And a friend of mine that I knew many, many years ago was talking to somebody online, and actually that was before FaceTime and video conferencing and Zoom and all those kind of things where you could actually see somebody. So you would talk on the phone, and she was talking to this guy on the phone who claimed to be I don't know if he was a doctor or what he was, but then he had gone somewhere in Africa and he was stuck there and he couldn't get out and he needed money. And she even talked to somebody who was supposed to be a friend of his. He was from London, supposedly, and it was a friend of his and all this kind of stuff. I mean, she actually was doing some research, and he asked her for, I don't know, $5,000 or whatever amount of money, and, oh, you'll get it back, blah, blah, blah. And she almost sent it. And then she thought to call the embassy where he said he was. And the embassy told her it was a scam. It was a romance scam. And she was devastated because he was supposed to be flying there to see her and meet up with her. And she wasn't an unintelligent person. And she got drawn into that. And another, my kid's grandpa, he got in, from what I understand, got one of those scams. It's their dad's dad, and it got one of those scams where they had him go get gift cards. And then there was another scam where money got transferred to Bitcoin or whatever. And they got some of that money back, but some of it they didn't. And there are millions and millions of dollars scammed every year. People will create fake profiles. I have a friend whose photo has been used to scam women out of thousands of dollars. And you think, well, how would somebody with some level of intelligence get scammed? But these people are very versed in how to communicate with people, what to say, what to do, especially the romance scams. And I hear a lot, men and women get scammed. Currently, okay, if you are on Instagram and you're following either of my profiles, I would love for you to follow Baskets and Beads. But I also have another profile, Eldana F. And that's kind of the profile that I was using when I was primarily speaking on negotiation, still speak on negotiation, but I'm not primarily marketing that. You can't market two things and expect to get there. So I market Baskets and Beads, and people know that I'm a negotiation expert. I just actually had somebody ask me, I had to laugh at this. I mean, they asked me to do a full day, like 9 to 5 online presentation for 2 people with their content for a very, very little amount of money. And I thought, Wow, the amount of time it would take me to actually review the content and get familiar with it and then teach it for a full day for that amount just wasn't worth it. So that's another thing. You have to know how to value yourself. But anyway, I noticed, and it was interesting. This profile actually liked some of my pictures, and then they have set up a profile. This is it. I'm going to show it down here. I'm going to show it. I want it to. It's called Same Pic of Daddy Russo. That's the account. But if you look at the photos, well, first of all, if you look at the profile picture, let's open the profile picture. Who is that? That's me. That came from my Eldana F profile. This is not my account. So if you're on Instagram, I would love it if you would go and report this profile as fake, because I've done it, but it's still up there. And they've got all of my photos. Look, they've got all of my photos that they pulled from my Instagram profile, and people are actually following them. This is not me. I'm not Same Pic of Daddy Russo. I'm Eldana F and Baskets and Beads Kenya. So this was a speaking engagement I did with the coordinator of the speaking engagement. Then they have some other pictures of other things mixed in there, I guess, from other profiles that they've stolen from maybe. But it's all my pictures and all my photos. And they're looks like they're pitching Bitcoin. So I'm just reading some of the things on here. So this is one of my marketing photos for speaking. And what the caption underneath is, it's 100% possible to make money from the internet through binary options trading. It doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I see what they've done. They've taken my content and they've added something about Bitcoin, and then they put what I put in there. So that's very interesting. Oh my gosh. Apology goes to my investors. My account was set under maintenance, but due to much work, I was unable to specify you all before going off unaware for about 3 weeks. Please accept my apology request. I'm now back in full service. Reach out now. Let's conclude with any outstanding investment. So they're using my photos and from my profile to push Bitcoin. So they're presenting themselves as me, and as if this is me saying this stuff. So it would be great if you went on Instagram. I guess more people that do that would be helpful. They've stolen my photos. I actually had somebody send a picture of, because I used to have, this is my headshot. This photo here was my headshot when my hair was dark, when my book came out. And this photo started appearing in other places. People stole the photo and was using it improperly. So that's another thing that has happened to me, and I no telling what else. But the problem is, especially with scammers. So the reason I wanted to talk about this, a good friend of mine almost got scammed yesterday, and that this person is not an unintelligent person either. And it's like, wow, how are these people actually getting into your psyche and getting you to believe? And they sent him documents that looked real and were threatening that, he was going to get arrested and this and that. And the problem is, and had his date of birth and had addresses. Let me tell you, so there's so many data breaches that your data is in the hands of the wrong people. So your data is all over the place. That's why you have so much of this two-factor authentication and things that have to go with your Face ID and codes sent to your phone and all of this, because there are people out there who have your information and are using it to attempt to scam you and get your money and get your info or use your info. I mean, I've got somebody using my pictures and no telling what else they're going to try to do with that. But they've taken my pictures and they're using them. You know what you can do to verify that other profiles aren't using your pictures is you can put it in something called TinEye, and then there's Google reverse image. It doesn't always come up with things, but that's one way to see who's actually using your photos. But as far as scammers, now I can't bring it up on my phone. I get like, I don't know, 5 to 10 robocalls a day. I don't answer any phone numbers that I don't know. And unless I'm expecting a phone call, I actually missed an important phone call and haven't been able to reconnect with that person because I didn't recognize the number. And I was like, yeah, okay, it's a robocall. And it was somebody that I had been wanting to talk to. And, you know, I've called and emailed and they have not responded back. So, but I don't trust answering the phone because there are scammers on the other end. If you look at that, the one YouTube channel, Scammer Payback, he's going after a lot of scammers and destroying their ability to scam people. But where there's those, there are more. So you have to be really careful about who you talk to, who you give your information to. One of the think like a negotiation strategies in this book right here is verify the facts. Like if somebody sends you something, one thing that I don't think a lot of people know to do, because I get scam emails all the time that say, oh, you need to, you know, click here. Here's your invoice. Oh, okay. Here's your invoice. If you click on it, then, you know, maybe it downloads something on your computer or they get your data or your info or whatever. The way to check to see if it's actually valid, because I get those fake things from PayPal, from banks I'm not even part of. And if you right click on the email address and see that it's some bogus email, you'll know that it's not coming from an actual person. And most banks and organizations are not going to send you an email and ask you to click on a link to verify anything. And if they do, or if you think it, just hang up and call back to the bank, call back to the real number at the bank and get that info. Okay, are you calling to verify this info? My insurance is with USAA and they always call once a year to verify your info is still the same. Oh, are you still doing this many miles a year? Blah, blah, blah. I'm actually probably doing less since I'm working from home. But hang up and call them back, or just let it go to voicemail. And if it's actually, gosh, the ones that leave voicemails for me are, oh, I'm just calling you back about this $30,000 loan or blah, 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 or, you know, oh, it's the same kind of recordings. And then there's one that calls and it's the same silence with some clicks in it. So I just don't answer calls that I don't know who it is. And another thing is when people want to set up a call with me, I always ask now, what is this call about? I had a friend who was having some significant problems with a family member, and she called and said, I need to talk to you. And I thought, oh gosh, maybe it's something I can help with. So we get on the phone and she starts to pitch me something. And I was so mad, like I got duped by that. That and one other time when I had a friend who came down she had been in Northern California. I had attended a lot of seminars with her, and she was like, oh, I'm in SoCal. I'd love to meet and have lunch and catch up. And I thought, oh, great. I met to catch up and I'm just about on the way there. And she said, oh, I've invited a friend to join us, if that's okay. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't thinking. This is how, I'm not an idiot either. This is how you can get taken right into something when you think somebody has one intention when they really have another. And so I show up and she and I are talking, and then this other woman shows up. We order. The woman asks me, something about me. This is before I was in Kenya. This is long before I was in Kenya. She was asking me what I was doing, think it was probably about 2014 or so. She asked me, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I speak and train on negotiation. I think it was maybe 2015 because the book just came out. I have a book called Think Like a Negotiator. Oh, great. And then she opened the fire hose and hit me with some healthcare MLM. I don't even know what she said. I was so mad. And for respect for the restaurant, because the restaurant I had suggested was a friend of mine, and I wasn't going to get up and walk out and on him. I just was like, I was just so mad. And then this other friend shows up to pick up the friend, and she's like, oh, you have issues. Your aura is all angry. You need to, you need some help. And I'm thinking, no, I'm doing pretty good, that I'm not like losing my cool. They left, and it was me and the other friend. I'm like, I can't believe that MLMs are still teaching this. Don't ever do that to anybody again. And I kind of let her have it. And I said, it's tricking people into coming into a meeting is not the way to get business. And I was so frustrated. But see, that just goes to show I'm very on my guard. I ask people, oh, can we have a phone call? What do you want to have a phone call about? I just had somebody ask me, okay, let's connect on a phone call. That's great. What do you want to talk to me about? Because I don't have time to waste to sit and listen to, like, I had somebody else wanted to do that to me. Oh, well, I just want to talk to you about, yeah, okay. I'm glad you were up front with me. Let me explain that I have no interest in spending my time doing any MLM. I am working a job and a business, and those are the only two things. And I'm very structured with my time. Have a nice day. So, you have to be very careful with everything these days. People coming at you from all angles. And the fact that my friend almost got scammed, it just makes me all that more. I'm looking all around like, how did that happen to him? How did that happen to my other friend, to where she almost got suckered in? As far as romance scams, you can see on YouTube, if you type in romance scam Dr. Phil, he does a lot of interviews with people. And what's really sad, there's this one lady, Lois, that I guess her daughter wrote in to the show or something. Her mother was so absorbed with all these different scammers that she thought were real. And she really, like, Dr. Phil was like, here's why this person isn't real. Here's all the evidence, which anybody can really find. If you go and research people, you can find the evidence of people being real or not. And she was so lost in her belief. And I don't know if it was her belief in that or her desire or what it fed in her, because when you get older and you're alone, it's tough. It's not easy. I've talked about it before. I have a dog and 2 cats, and, I don't get to see my kids that often. And when I do, it's very short time because they have their own lives. And I keep busy with baskets and beads, but there are times when it's kind of lonely. And I can understand how somebody can get that need for love. We all have that need to be loved. And especially somebody who's come from a background where they didn't have much. And then I don't know what it feeds. I'd love to see some research on that, what it feeds in somebody's brain to really keep them sucked into where they won't where evidence of this is a fake. And I think this lady is given tens of thousands of dollars to these scammers and thinks that they're going to come for her. First of all, I think she's older than I am. And I think she's older than I am. And the pictures are guys that are like, I don't know, 10, 20 years, 30 years younger than her. And she's thinking that person is really going to be interested in marrying her and having a life with her. It's somebody that they've never even talked on camera. I mean, it's just crazy to think about that. So you have to be really careful. Now the latest scam. So on my Facebook profile, I have it set up to where the only people that can connect with me are friends of friends. And the reason I've set it up that way is because I was getting half a dozen or more fake profiles friending me a day. Like sometimes it was 6, sometimes it was 8. And I just got, I actually did a blog post some time ago about the things that they say, and I actually saved some people from getting scammed. Well, so because of that, somebody can't friend me. But then if they friended somebody who's bought into them being a real profile, then they can friend me. And I look and I see that it's fake. And it does no good to report it to Facebook. Forget it. They're not going to do anything about it. They're not going to do anything to cancel the profile. Most of the time they say, oh, we see nothing wrong. Like, okay, what, did your AI look at it and thought it was real? You got to be kidding me. The ones that crack me up are the military generals. Like, first of all, for security reason, military generals not going to be on Facebook trolling for women. And one of them was still active duty and married and stuff. You can actually take the name and go look it up and find out the details about them. Or they'll have a fake name with their picture or whatever. And then you could go through TinEye or Google image search and actually verify the facts that they are real or are not real. But what they're doing now is, because they can't friend request you, they will put a comment on your profile. Oh, your picture's so wonderful. I just love to get to know you, but I can't, I sent a friend request and it won't go through. Would you please friend me? And I'd love to connect with you, blah, blah, blah. And the last one that did that, I was like, no, I'm not going to friend request you, you fake scammer profile. And they deleted their comment immediately. And some of them block me when I do that, but I leave the comment there so other women can see what's going on. So I'm assuming it happens to men too, but I can only tell my experience, what's happening to me. And I get that a lot. I think probably because I'm more in the public with what I'm doing. I do a lot of interviews and I'm out there a lot. I have, I don't know, I guess a more of a public persona. So more people see me and they come after me with that. So that's something to be aware of. If you get those, and I always go and look at the profile and, hey, morning. And I look at those profiles and I laugh because the last one had, okay, you can tell when a profile's fake. First of all, a military person is not going to be looking for you. Okay. And they're not going to be looking for you online on Facebook. I actually one time, some time ago, went on Facebook dating and there were more fakes there than not. So I'm very versed in being able to spot a fake profile. I probably block about 6 a day on my Instagram, on my Eldana F Instagram. I probably block about 6 of them a day. They're all doctors, engineers, working in the oil industry, or some Hollywood something or other. And it's all fake. So I just block them. It's no use in attempting to report things because most of the time it doesn't get done. But from what I understand, if a lot of people report something, then maybe they'll take a look and say, oh, this must be fake. So I'm going to go back to what I was talking about, this one here. If you go on Instagram, and if you're on Instagram, this is same pic of Daddy Russo is impersonating me. This profile is impersonating me. I mean, their profile picture is my one of my photos. That's their profile picture. That's me. But I am not. I'm Eldana F on Instagram, and I am at Baskets and Beads Kenya. So on Instagram right now, I am live on at Baskets and Beads Kenya, and then I also have an Eldana F profile. So if you're on Instagram, I'd love it if you went and reported this profile. Again, it is, I'm going to put it, it's probably, I'm showing it on Instagram. I'm showing it on Facebook. Same pic of Daddy Russo. And I guess they're Carolina Russo is the person's name, but they're like, okay. This is a photo about Nairobi, about how Nairobi is bigger than the city of Los Angeles by 500,000 people. What did they put? Russo fun facts about Kenya. Nairobi is the capital and one of the fastest growing cities in Africa. The name comes from the Maasai phrase Nkare Nairobi, which translates to cool water, a reference to the Nairobi River, which flows through the city. The city of Nairobi's population exceeds that of the city of Los Angeles. The country of Kenya has a population of 52.57 million, which is about the population of the state of California and Illinois put together. That's my post. So they put Russo fun fact about Kenya in there, and that they're using my post. So yeah, you were bombarded by those saying to friend them. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Instagram hot knuckles. That's right. Put some Instagram hot knuckles on them there, brother. Anyway, so it's getting crazy out there with the recent almost scamming of my friend. I'm not going to go into details of what happened, but it really shook me, because to think that I know people that are basically with it, intelligent people that are getting sucked into these scams. And it just really infuriates me. And I called my son yesterday. He didn't get why I was so upset, because, you know, they're preying on people in my age group and around 10 to 20 years either side. Is they're preying on older people that are maybe not as savvy online. I'm thankfully, even though I'm in the older category, I was a computer system administrator for a few years of my Air Force career. And oh wow, Alex, you didn't know someone hacked your account and was asking friends for money. Yeah, you have to beware. It's crazy what's going on. So I just wanted to do kind of a public service announcement. I got to get myself to church here in a little bit, but I wanted to do a public service announcement for that, because I've written blog posts about it going way back to before that. What they're doing now is different than what they did in the beginning. Like the 2009 issue I shared at the beginning was something that happened to a friend before there was FaceTime, before there was video conferencing, and they did it all through the phone and just calls and talking. Some people, like this one lady, if you go look at Dr. Phil and put in Lois as her name, they showed her all the information that shows that it's fake, and she still doesn't believe it. And I don't know if she doesn't believe it because it could be two things. One, if she believes it, she'll realize how much of her life she's given and how much of her money she's given and feel absolutely humiliated. Or on the other hand, if she has to admit that it's real, she will actually lose that connection with someone. I mean, some people are willing to keep going on with that just for the connection with someone. We're all just looking to connect and be connected and have friends and talk to people. COVID put a big separation amongst people. Family members couldn't even see each other, and it's taken a while to get back to that. And I'm just of the impression that I just want to be with people. I'm working on catching up with people that I haven't talked to in a long time, even if it's only on a video call or whatever, or a FaceTime, or just a call or a Zoom or whatever. I caught up with one of my friends I hadn't talked to in a long time just to catch up, because we've been so, at least for me, I've been so focused that I'm forgetting about being connected to people. And, that's one thing I love about the veterans group that I'm part of. Those brothers and sisters have had my back for many years, and I love getting to see them. And when I can't go on a Wednesday because of something that's going on, I miss seeing them. I miss that connection. and I miss that FaceTime. We did it online for quite a few months during COVID, and the fact that we were able to get back together and that we do things together. Same thing with going to women's events or networking meetings or anything like that. It's just the ability to connect with and see people, it's very important that I go out and walk my dog with my neighbor, and that's a fun connection because our dogs are buds, and I just love to be connected to other people. And she's lived there for a long time, and I was so kind of buried in my whatever I was doing. I never came out much, but now that I have a dog, I take her for walks and I meet people in the neighborhood and get to talk to people. And then my neighbor and I do walks together a lot during the week. So that's great to be able to be connected. All right, so let me, I just wanted to wrap this up by saying beware, because there are scammers everywhere. You don't know if people have I didn't even realize, and I probably wouldn't have realized if they wouldn't have tagged me in those photos. They actually liked the photo, and I was like, who is this? And when I looked at the picture, because they liked about 4 photos, when I looked at the pictures, I saw that they had taken all of my stuff, and now they're using my content as their content, which is annoying. So I might start making comments on their profile and saying, yeah, this belongs to somebody else. You're using it and you've been reported. So anyway, all right, everybody, before I wrap this up, I'm going to go back to the most important thing, is raising my fundraiser for Kenya. I haven't raised a lot of money yet. I haven't really started reaching out to people. There have been some who have donated. Thank you so far for the donations. And I'm looking forward to, yeah, I know, Shelley, how brazen to like the pictures and then use them. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that about? Anyway, givesengo.com/Mission Kenya. Also, if you're on Facebook, I just posted an event for our grand opening, April 16th from 2 to 6 p.m. Stop by anytime. Come hang out. Come check out the space. Come say hey, and would love to have you there. There'll be more stuff posted as we're going into that, and then obviously for the fundraiser. So I hope you all have a great Sunday. I am going to have myself a little snack and head off to church, and I will see everybody soon. Nakupenda.